The following video was taken from a chapter of Jude Dupère-Deville's science fiction novel entitled The Snapdragon Code. Please watch and enjoy.
I have something I want to show you when we get back to New York.
Stan explains without telling her what it is.
Show me what, Stan?
You'll see, Evie. It's a surprise, and I think you'll enjoy it. That's all I can tell you right now. Anyway, tonight we'll dine out at my restaurant and enjoy ourselves. How's that?
It was 7 in the evening when they arrived on the roof of Stan's high-rise building. The sun was just setting and its last rays were reflecting off the stony-faced gargoyles as they gazed out over the city. Evie could not help but snap a picture of the medieval characters watching the sunset.
This will make a fantastic photograph. I'll have it framed and hang it in the bedroom.
Evie tells Stan, who seemed amused at her idea. Right after her photo shoot, the couple rode the private elevator down to their penthouse where they dressed for dinner. On their way to the restaurant, Stan points to the numbered floor levels on the elevator's legend.
Evie, see here at the bottom where it says the cellar? Well, how about tomorrow I show you what's on that lower level?
Of course, Evie remembered being down there with Adam. However, she had not attempted to go past the large doors or into the inner sanctum.
What's down there?
What I want to show you tomorrow. That's the surprise.
Coming from her quiet country place to the city always jarred her senses at first. Once the elevator doors open, Evie realizes once again what a bustle of a place the lobby of this building was, even on a Sunday evening. Straight away, Evie takes Stan's arm as they walk down the hall towards the restaurant's dining room entrance. As expected, there was no waiting at the door. As soon as the maitre d' sees them, he ushers them over to Stan's preferred table.
Ah, tonight you have your lovely wife with you, Madame Rothmann. How wonderful.
It had been a while since Evie had been here. She had forgotten the numerous looks of curiosity Stan's presence always elicited. This must be how it feels to be a celebrity, Evie thinks. Then she realizes that, in a sense, that's what Stan was, a well-known luminary in this town. It was fun to be noticed like this, once in a while, but it could easily go to your head. After Stan's third uninvited interruption by a fellow diner, Evie couldn't help but say,
I think I'd rather be anonymous in Wolfboro.
Ah, it isn't that bad. Besides, I think if we were here together more often, they probably wouldn't even take notice. Anyway, they're more interested in looking at you, Evie, than they are at me. They like seeing a pretty woman.
With that remark said, Evie wanted to tell him to stop it, but on the other hand, she liked hearing it from him. The rest of the evening went perfectly. The food, the wine, and the music gave Stan and Evie a wonderful night to remember, albeit possibly their last. Stan left early that Monday morning, even before Eve had awakened. When she did rise, she decided to have her coffee on the outside deck of the penthouse's loggia. The temperature up there on sunny days was usually much warmer than what it was at street level. Although it was the last full week of September and a chilly morning, it felt more like summer up there high above the city. That morning, while bathed in sunlight, Evie had ample time to think things over, while leafing through some of the business publications and looking for any articles on Stan Rothmann. I wonder what in the world he's planning on showing me down in that cellar, she asks herself. Some new kind of virtual reality technology is what Adam had said.
I hope it's not too far out there.
Then she begins to consider whether it might not be a bad move for her to get involved in some way with Stan's business ventures. That way, maybe I could have some small part in keeping him on the right path. Now that Adam is settled in at school, I've got more time on my hands. It won't hurt to at least suggest it to him, Evie tells herself. If he's absolutely against it, then I'll look into going back to work, possibly at the lodge. It was just a little after 11 when Stan came up to join Evie on the deck. Shortly afterwards, Bentley brought up a tray containing 2 frosted mugs of cold beer, 2 steak and cheese subs, along with French fries and onion rings from the deli around the block.
I thought we'd share some unhealthy food for a change. Then we'll take a ride downstairs like I promised. It's about time I take you to see my home.
I've already been to your home. Which one are you talking about now?
My true home, you'll see.
Stan says, leaving Evie with an odd sense of unease.
There's nothing bad down there, is there? I mean, why do you call that floor the cellar?
Come on, Evie. Would I ever put you in any kind of danger? I thought you knew me better than that.
The problem, however, was that lately Evie had started having some doubts about Stan. Not whether he loved her, but whether she really knew him all that well. Once they were in the private elevator, Evie watched as Stan pressed the button next to the word, "the cellar." Then, the floor beneath her feet began to fall away quickly in that high-speed elevator.
So Stan, why did you decide to call this place the cellar? Gee, it sounds more like it might be some sort of nightclub or private partying place. I hope there aren't any stripper poles down there.
No, but you'll see there's a very large and unusual lamp.
Stan says, almost trying to prepare her for the colorful spectacle of its size and dimension. As the elevator doors swing open, revealing the glistening brass-trimmed lobby with its lacquered mahogany paneling, Evie begins to wonder what in the world lay beyond those doors. She watches as Stan completes all of the required security protocols before the thick glass doors allow them inside.
Is this where you keep all of your money stored? Because I don't think it would be easy to break in here.
Something more precious than money, Evie. Follow me.
As soon as she entered the expansive hall, she began to feel hesitant about moving forward. Perhaps it was just the scent of old wood, like the smell in an old parish auditorium when they unfold the stackable wooden chairs in preparation for a special event. Yet, it was also a gut reaction that made her feel uncomfortable being there. What was he going to show her? Although it took a while for her eyes to adjust to the darkened chamber, when they did, Evie could not help but notice the largest lava lamp she had ever seen. Radiating pastel colors reflected across the hardwood floors and up onto the dark wood paneling on the walls.
What in the world is this for, and why is it here?
What? You mean you've never seen one like this before? I'm surprised. Adam thought it was cool. Put your hand up against the glass and you'll notice a kind of vibration and feel it. It's warm to the touch. You wouldn't know it, but this lamp serves an important purpose. It's one of the most reliable random number generators there is. I rely on it to run certain processors. Without it, my world would not be as interesting or as predictable as it is.
When did you take Adam down here? He never mentioned it to me.
Oh, it was a while ago, when Adam came with us to stay here. So, are you ready for the surprise?
Stan asks, as he takes Evie by the arm and begins to lead her towards the back part of the large hall. On their way there, Evie could now discern the row of 6 matching marble pillars that lined the center of the room. In addition, several colorful oriental rugs defined the multiple seating areas within the massive hall. Antique pieces and overstuffed velvet furniture reminded Evie of the old movie theaters she used to go to when she was a kid.
What's this place used for anyway? It almost looks like an old movie auditorium with the red velvet seats and heavy draperies. It's kind of eerie, don't you think, Stan? This place kind of gives me the creeps. What about you?
Wow, where's your sense of adventure, Evie?
I don't really feel adventurous today, Stan. Come on, let's just go, okay?
Evie, don't be silly. I promise that you will enjoy every minute of this. Trust me. The place I'm taking you to is merely a vir-vid, or virtual video, of a beautiful city I once called my real home. Have you ever tried on a virtual reality headset? Well, that's pretty much what this is, only much, much more realistic. In fact, it's as if you are really there, in another place and another time. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of.
Is this some new technology you're investing in?
Yes and no. Right now it's too early, but someday for sure. FYI, when I brought Adam to see it, he loved it.
At this moment, Evie feels she has no choice but to follow Stan through the glowing, multicolored neon portal. As soon as she enters, she feels her ears pop, as though she has gone up in altitude. However, that effect did not surprise her, as much as what she could now see in front of her. There were what seemed acres of lush green lawn and flowers lining a long walkway leading up to a palace-like structure.
This is where I used to live before I came here.
Stan says as Evie continues to scan the acres surrounding the place. Below them, in the distance and stretching out for miles, was a futuristic-looking city of sleek modern architecture. Then, interspersed among the space-age structures, were what looked like Grecian-style buildings, designed with domes and columns. What struck Eve the most, however, is what she could see up in the sky. More than one moon appeared to circle this place, or were they other planets? Evie felt completely and totally awestruck.
Where are we?
Is all she could mutter at that moment. As she took a few steps forward, she realized her feet were barely touching the ground.
Stan, what's going on here? I'm walking, but my feet are not touching anything solid.
This is perfectly normal, Eve. In this place, if you want to go somewhere, whether it's a mile or 1,000 miles away, all you have to do is think of it. Would you like to see the city? We can be there in an instant. Simply say it or think it. Picture that park over there in front of the building with the columns. On the count of 3, just think it. Come on now. 1, 2, 3.
Within a second, they both found themselves in the middle of the park, with their feet hovering just a few inches above the sidewalk.
What's the use of having sidewalks if you don't actually walk on them? So, this is a form of virtual reality, correct? But how can it teleport us? How can it overcome gravity?
Because this is a very advanced kind of virtual reality. It's called a Heaven. It's a holographically enhanced virtual environment. This technology is not yet available here, on this planet.
You said not available on this planet? So where does it come from? Some other planet?
Well, in a way, it does come from another planet.
What are you saying, Stan? Do you realize how this sounds? Some people will think that you've lost your mind. Do you really believe that?
It was too late, though. Stan could not take back what he had just said. He recognizes he has to keep going. He has to tell Evie the truth. It was time.
Evie, I know you think I've lost my mind, but I swear I'm telling the absolute truth. I do come from another world, and there are many others who have followed me here as well. You've already met some of them. If you ask them, they will tell you the same thing that I've just told you. Look, where I came from there was a war, a battle for the leadership of our Heaven, and we lost. We had no choice. We would not agree to their terms, and so we left. I and the others come from a more advanced civilization than Earth's by almost 2,000 years. It's as simple as that. I just wanted you to know the truth, Evie, because I love you. I always have. This is the truth, Evie. I come from another world. A more technically advanced society, capable of creating multi-universes at will.
At that moment, Evie begins to feel short of breath, like a panic attack, like when her dad had died and she couldn't catch her breath. That's what they said she had that day. She felt the same way now. She could still hear Stan talking, but now he sounded far away. All she could think of was to make a run for it. Magically, in the blink of an eye, she found herself immediately transported back to the spot where she had first entered the virtual video. She then runs through the multicolored portal and starts running down the middle of the hall, between the marble pillars. Stan is right behind her and catches up with her before she reaches the main doors.
Evie, I thought you cared about me, but now you're running away because of what? You think I'm mad? If I was really insane, wouldn't you want to help me get better? Would you abandon the man you married because you think he's having a breakdown? What kind of loyalty is that?
Stan asks, and with that, Evie stops wrestling with him and relaxes for a moment. Evie then moves to one of the large velvet sofas against the wall and waits for Stan to come and sit next to her.
Stan, I'm not abandoning you. I guess I wanted to run because I was more afraid that what you were saying was the truth, rather than if you were losing your mind. You must understand that what you're saying is just too difficult for me, or any sane person, to ever accept. My God, I would rather think you're crazy than believe you come from some other planet.
Look, it's not so much another planet, Eve. It's more like another place with more advanced technology. There are many, many other places in this universe, like where I come from and where you come from, believe me. I mean, look, you've heard scientists talk about the multiverse, right? Well, in a way, that's what I'm talking about here, a multitude of other realities. The problem is you just can't see these other realities because they exist in their own separate wave bandwidths outside of this one. You have to understand, Evie, that I and the people that I came here with did not have a choice. This war made us into hunted fugitives. We had to leave and open up a new heaven before they could scrub our memories. They wanted to send us for retraining, as they called it. They wanted to take away everything we had fought for. They even wanted to take you away from me. Anyway, what matters now is that you and I are here together, in this world, and we're going to have a wonderful life together.
Stan tells her, in as comforting a manner as he could express. However, even if his story had a hint of truth to it, Evie wondered what he meant when he said they wanted to take her, away from him. He must be delusional. That was all Evie could surmise at this point.
Stan, you said you had to leave your home and start up a new heaven, whatever that is. So what are you saying? That you were able to create a whole new reality? In 6 days like God did, and then what? You rested?
No, not in 6 days. We used an 8-dimensional Gosset polytope crystal with a programmable projector way out on the boundary.
I'm sorry, Stan, but don't you see how ridiculous this sounds? It just doesn't make any sense at all. Just think of it for a minute. First of all, this planet has been here for over 1 billion years, so how can you say you just recently started it up?
Look, Evie, this place is not really a true planet, and it hasn't really been in existence that long. If you measure the helium still left inside the Earth's crust, very little has leaked out of the rocks. That's a sure indicator of its age, and this place is still young. It's a virtual holographic reality. The Gosset polytope projects down to 2 discrete 4-dimensional quasi-crystals and then down to the 3-dimensional reality that we see all around us. The information contained within the smaller quasi-crystal is condensed into qubits and kept on the boundary as backup. What I'm telling you is how everything works. It's part of our history, and I swear every word I'm telling you is the truth. Please believe me. If you give me a chance, I'll explain it all in even more detail later.
Stan says, now holding Evie's hand while pleading with her to trust him.
Okay, Stan. Just answer me one thing. What did you mean when you said they wanted to take me away from you? I met you less than 2 years ago, so how could you have known me before you came here? You understand that's impossible, right?
No, I knew you before, when you were Patra. You were with me in that other heaven, you just don't remember.
Stan says as Evie once again recalls what Seni had said to Stan on the boat that day. Are you sure Evie isn't Patra's clone? Here, in a way, is some kind of actual confirmation of what Stan is trying to tell me, Evie thinks.
But Stan, you told me that Patra was just an old girlfriend.
No, she was you when you existed as an avatar in the Roman games with me. Or, at least you look exactly like her, voice and everything. Aza, our technician must have inserted you into this program. I didn't know if he'd be able to do it. I waited a long time for you to appear, but you never did until that day at the conference. I couldn't believe it when I saw you there. I was so damned happy. I was up in the helicopter, watching you drive away in your red Jeep that day. I had been so unhappy until then, until you came back into my life.
At that point, hearing his emotional confession, Evie could not discourage him any further. So she let him continue on with his attempts to convince her. Had he lost his sanity? Right now, Evie was almost certain of it.